Around this time 2 years ago, I was in academic caution from law school because I had failed 8 classes total at that point. And that was a time when I just did not know if I would ever not just finish my law degree, but even become a lawyer in general. Fast forward to 3 years later, I did graduate law school. I ended up getting 3 HDs in my last semester. I did my PLT and I ended up getting admitted as a lawyer, and now I work full-time as a lawyer. I'm no longer living like a uni student, and I'm talking about like the finances side of things. Yeah, life is a lot different to how I pictured it the moment that I was crying because I was in academic caution 3 years ago. But I'm gonna share a little bit of the reality of it, of how I sometimes still feel to this day. Even though I had a huge academic bounce back, I had 3 HDs in the last semester, like I was able to improve my grades significantly. There were still law firms that ghosted me. There were still law firms that never went back to me. There were still law firms that rejected me. There were still law firms that didn't give me a chance because they saw my academic transcript and maybe decided that I wasn't suitable for the role based on that. Of course, there could have been other factors too, but I did really feel like I had, even though I improved my grades, I still felt, what's the word for it? I still felt the consequences of failing those 8 classes. Regardless of what grades that I ended up bouncing back with, law firms would still look at my failed grades and may or may not, proceed with my application based on that. And even after I went through all that, I ended up getting a job at a law firm. I ended up working at a law firm where I'm now working as a full-time lawyer. The failed 8 classes still can sometimes get in my head during moments when I have self-doubt. During moments when I come across any sort of situation where I feel a little bit silly, or I make a mistake that is really obvious on how to not make that mistake, where I fall back into my failed 8 classes and be like, well, like I failed 8 classes, like what do I expect? I still feel those kind of feelings from it to this day. Don't get me wrong, I feel like 9% of the time I built a lot of self-confidence and I know what I'm doing. I, to be honest, think that I'm doing a really good job at what I do. I always do it to the best of my ability. That 10% I still think about. That 10% is still that self-doubt. Obviously, like right now, I'm not looking for a job anymore. I'm not getting ghosted by law firms. There was a point in time where, even though, in my opinion, grades aren't the only thing that fully determines how good of a lawyer you'll be. Even though I firmly believe that, I was still getting rejected or ghosted because of my academic transcript. But yeah.